One of the most common questions I get whenever I go anywhere. As soon as someone finds out that I'm a real estate agent, they ask me this one question. What is going on with the market here in Southwest Florida? Generally, those type of questions would indicate a assumed problem. Well, today I'm going to answer the question, is there a problem with the real estate market here in Collier County, Greater Naples area, in my November 2025 market update? This channel focuses on everything to do with living in Southwest Florida. If you're thinking about buying or selling, or you just have questions about Southwest Florida, call or text me at 239-450-5786. And don't forget, you can click the link below to schedule a free one-on-one informational Zoom call with me. Unless you have been living under a rock or in a completely internet-free zone, there is no doubt that everybody knows that nationwide, 2024 and 2025 have been some of the worst real estate years in history. Now, if you've been following my market updates, you know that I have been seeing, and we have been seeing, trends that show that the market is starting to respond here in Collier County and really all of Southwest Florida. Is it enough, or do we still have a problem as we enter into 2026? Today, I'm going to try to answer some of those questions that you have in my November 2025 market update for Collier County and the Greater Naples area. Let's begin. Now, as we begin the market update, a quick reminder, all the information I'm providing you is taken directly out of the Southwest Florida MLS system, raw and unfiltered, unless I specifically indicate. This is to give you the information that you need to make the right decisions for you and your family as we finish up 2025 and move into 2026. Of course, all the opinions are my opinions with the purpose of trying to help you understand what the numbers are saying from my perspective and what I've learned about the real estate industry. So let's begin. And just a reminder, we are asking, the question is, what is wrong with the real estate market here in Collier County and really Southwest Florida? I am going to be looking at numbers today that include Lee County as a comparison, but the focus is Collier County. So let's put things in perspective. The population here in Collier County has grown significantly. According to usfacts.org, the population in Collier County has grown by 11.7% between 2015 and 2022. Now, put that in comparison, the population growth in the United States is up 3.9%, and Florida's population grew in the same time period only 10%. So Southwest Florida, and particularly Collier County, has an amazing draw to both retirees, individuals that can work from home, but ultimately people that are looking to escape the winters and enjoy this amazing tropical paradise that we have here in Southwest Florida and Collier County. So let's begin with answering the question of, do we have an inventory problem here in the Greater Naples area? Total homes for sale, 6,108. That's up 8.7% year over year. Lee County was 11,834. Also up 8.5% year over year. Now, when we look at the total homes for sale, we see that Collier County here, the bottom number here, is actually, we are not in where you would say we have too much inventory historically. Lee County, yes, definitely there is definitely more inventory and it's in kind of record numbers. But when we look at Collier County, which is again our focus for this video, we are not in uncharted territories. In fact, you would say we are kind of in normal inventory numbers, and we are starting to move up again, which we do each and every winter season, where we see our snowbirds down here and sellers are starting to stack their homes on the market to attract the seasonal buyers. Months of supply, we are at 8.3 months worth of inventory. Again, months of supply or an inventory is the number of months it would take us to sell all the homes on the market if no more homes are added to it. So no new homes listed. It's going to take us approximately 8.3 months to get rid of that. It's up 9.2% year over year. Lee County, 7.6, also up 8.6%. So again, we are starting to see year over year, we are definitely at a higher inventory point. But as we saw before for Collier County, not a major area of concern. Months of supply here again, we see really Lee County is definitely at a high point. Collier County, again, it's not uncharted territory where we are. And, I don't think it's for much a point of concern. Average days on the market, 111 days in Collier County. That's up 20.7% year over year, way up over where we were in 2023. But again, we didn't have inventory in 2023. So you would expect that the buyers that were buying in 2023 were eating up the homes quicker than they are now when we actually have inventory to sell. And again, here we see here Collier County. Yeah, we days on the market is a little bit higher than say 2015 or 2017, but it's really not an extraordinarily unnormal number for Collier County. Lee County, yeah, it's a little higher than the normal, but again, it's not of, I don't think personally, of a concern point. It is a buyer's market. Anything over 6 months worth of inventory crosses into a seller's market. But the question is are buyers actually buying homes? Looking at the pendings for October, 744, that's up 63.5% year over year. That's a great jump. That's a great sign for a market. When you think about, from basically this time in 2023 all the way until now, we have been in a very rough real estate market. But this is a great trend as we look forward. Lee County, 1547, that's up 54.1% year over year. Again, still a very positive sign. When we look at the pendings, this is what Southwest Florida is. It's up and down, but we are definitely not in a low point or a concerning point. Right here, I mean, we definitely were below normal, but again, you still always see our seasonal peaks in Southwest Florida. So sellers tend to time that season for those peaks. Total sales, this is really what we're concerned about. Pendings are contracts that go, homes that go under contract. They may or may not reach closing. But total sales closings is what we pay attention to. 726 closings in October, that's up 31.3%. Lee County is up 21% over year. But again, that's an encouraging number. Still the same look as the pendings. Again, this is just the nature of the greater Naples real estate market and Southwest Florida, is that we are very much a seasonal market. Now let's look at the historical numbers for closing. And I want you to see the patterns and think about do we have a problem? The average is anywhere from 600 to 750 homes a month for October going to closing. Now the kind of the outside liars here is 2020. What happened in 2020? COVID, we were shut down, locked down, and then real estate kind of came back to life in June and July when they started allowing us back and started to encourage, say we were open for business. So we started seeing the pent up demand, making moves, and we saw 1,400 closings in 2020. 2021, now interest rates are starting to fall, and that artificial fix, we start seeing 943 homes sell. And then, but 2022, we're low on inventory now, and we're back to kind of our normal, still inflated when you think about where we were inventory level wise. This is still way up. And of course, we remember pricing and price competition was going through the roof. 2022, new home sales were going record pace. In fact, some of the builders were even stopping taking new sales to try to get caught up. And then 2023, we kind of started to slide down. 2024, bad year. 2025, we're inching back up. I really think we're going to see 2026 either is going to be very typical or we're going to be in a very good position. I think there's a lot of pent up demand. And if the trends continue, we are going to be in a positive position again, I think, in 2026. So it's a buyer's market. Buyers are buying. Do we have a pricing problem in Collier County, Greater Naples, Southwest Florida? Closed median price $585,500. Now it is down 0.6% year over year. So basically that's a flat number. Lee County $364,547. Now that's down 6% over year and down over 2023. So yeah, definitely, the trends are a little bit more to a bigger price adjustment in Lee County than Collier County. But again, we still see here, this top line here is Collier County, Lee County. Collier County median price is still way up over where we were pre-COVID. Almost $200,000 above where we were going into COVID. So again, do we have a pricing problem? I don't think so. Average $1,036,816. That's down 13%. I don't really like the average when it comes to pricing because we have such a wide array of pricing here in Southwest Florida that, if you have a couple $20 million homes or $10 million home sales, extra sales in a month, it's going to push the average up. If you don't have them, the average is going to be down. So the average really fluctuates a lot more. But going back here to, the conversation about pricing, again, are we down over where our peaks were? Yes. Are we still significantly up for the owners who owned their homes in this time period? Yes. Buyers who bought here, there's not as much room and growth happening because we have seen a price adjustment. Part of that price adjustment is sellers competing for the buyers that are on the market. And that's where we're looking at here. Average percent of last list price, 93.8%. That's down 1.3% year over year. Lee County is doing a little bit better at 95.7%, basically flat year over year. When we look at the trends, yes, obviously we see here that, we had this abnormal sellers market where sellers were getting almost exactly what they asked for, and if not over what they asked for, and it pushed pricing up. And then sellers kind of got used to that fantasy land of pricing. So we saw a lot of sellers put homes on the market and are still kind of doing that at too high of a price, a kind of a fantasy land or unrealistic pricing strategy, which means pricing has come down, has pushed it down. But what we see here, an average percentage of last list price is the last list price when it went under contract. This is not where they listed $1 million and they have price adjusted to where they are now at $900,000. This is the percentage of the last list price. So they've now listed at 900,000. They take an offer, say at 895,000. That would be what this number is, the percentage of that. So what this tells you is that there is a lot of negotiations going on for the buyers in Collier County. So that's great news for buyers, not horrible news for sellers because it means that buyers are negotiating and homes are going under contract. But again, we'd like to see this go up for our sellers. We should probably be more in the 94 to 95% of list price right now in this market. But again, with the lack of buyers, sellers are taking offers because they need to sell or they want to sell. They're taking offers that they might not normally have accepted just because of the lack of buyers. So it's a buyer's market. Buyers are buying. It's not a pricing problem, in my opinion. And this is Daniel Bussard's opinion. We are in the new normal market, but we do have some problems. The economic conditions are still not great. Food costs are still up. Gas prices are fluctuating. You never really know what you're going to pay for gas. We went almost a month, it seemed like, in the $2.85 to $2.99 range. Now we're back up to over $3.10. It's kind of weird what the economy and expenses are doing here in Southwest Florida. Obviously, I don't know what they're doing in other parts of the country. I'm only looking at what they're doing here in Southwest Florida. Interest rates for buyers and affordability. Interest rates are still high considering the price range of homes now and affordability. People's wages are not going as far as they used to. So affordability of homes here and really rent here in Southwest Florida is an issue. Interest rates for current owners. The buyers of 2020 to 2023 had low interest rates, and a lot of homeowners that owned homes during that period also refinanced. I did, and I'm at a very low interest rate. It would be very hard for me to let go of my house to upgrade or downsize, whatever the goal is, when you have such a low interest rate. So that is part of the problem for people doing that, upgrading or downgrading homes. They just are staying put. And of course, one of the big issues that we have is the equity positions of the new homeowners. Normally we see values going up, but of course, as we've talked about, we see that price adjustment. We're certainly not crashing, okay? But we certainly are not growing for the people that bought their homes in, say, 2020 and forward. So that is where it comes to, if you're thinking about selling, my Sell It Stress Free system can help you figure out if now's the right time to sell. I also now am able to offer you 4 or more instant cash offers for your home today. These are actually actionable offers. These are not just numbers that a system's generating. These are institutional buyers that are ready to buy your home or to work with you to sell your home. Visit sellitstressfree.com or scan the code on the screen, and let's have a conversation about whether now's the right time for you to sell your home and how my Sell It Stress Free system is designed for this type of market to get your home sold for the best possible dollar in this market. And of course, if you're thinking about buying, this is the perfect time to be buying before interest rates start to tick down, which we hope they will be throughout 2026. You can be one of the few buyers that are in the market. Now, interesting, I have been showing a lot of homes recently, and the sellers agents are telling me that they have seen a lot more activity on their listings. So that means buyers are getting off the fence. And if you're on the fence right now, it's time to get off before all of the buyers are back into the market. Call or text me today at 239-450-5786. And if you're watching this video as a new release, I thank you for taking time before Thanksgiving to watch this video. But for all you viewers, I appreciate you taking time to watch this video. And if you have found it to be informative, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell to be notified about my future videos. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.